Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And as badly as I want this man, Israel Adesanya, to come out this weekend against Dricus du Plessis and put on one of his most memorable performances like we've seen against Paulo Costa or Robert Whitaker or the Alex Pereira or even the absolute war that he had with Kelvin Gastelum, as badly as I want to see this, man, we have to be as honest as we can about Israel Adesanya, especially when it comes to his later chapter of his career here. Like, how many times have we witnessed these guys that have set out to do some of the most amazing things when it comes to MMA and, accomplishing all these great things and setting records like we've seen with the Anderson Silvas, the GSPs, the Kamaru Usmans, even guys like Conor McGregor, who have just set out and have done so many things when it comes to money and putting the sport on. Once these guys get to that mountaintop and once these guys have accomplished everything that they've ever dreamed of, we start to see them really, lack the motivation to even wake up for certain fights. And then, for all those amazing, performances I just named of Israel Adesanya, we've seen the Marvin Vettori fights. We've seen the Jared Cannoniers or the Yoel Romero fights where it's like, man, this is tough to watch. This isn't this killer that we all know in Israel Adesanya. The Jan Blachowicz fights, like, for every great one, you can match with a rather boring one, and even throw in the Sean Strickland fight. And how many times have we heard, Izzy the last few years after running, the whole division and all these things, talking about how he's not going to fight for much longer, and he doesn't see himself fighting, much more than a couple more fights, and then maybe he drops one, and you still have that motivation for the Alex Pereiras, or he found motivation with the Dricus du Plessis fight a year ago, and then Dricus didn't take it. He goes and takes the Sean Strickland fight, loses that fight because he's not motivated at all, and now we're sitting here, okay, now you get the Dricus fight, but you were out for a while. You were questioning if you were going to come back, and you're fighting a guy in Dricus who, yeah, I've doubted every single time he's fought his last 4 or 5 fights, and yet this man's going out there and proving that he's just getting better and better. He got that nose, fixed, and now it seemed like against Sean Strickland, it really seemed like he was taking over in those championship rounds. Regardless if you thought Sean won or anything, Dricus is the last guy to go in there and be on, half in, half out on. And, the other thing that's tough, too, when it comes to Izzy, this is going to be a very big test here because, he only has a few more fights left if we really look at this man's career. For everything that he's done, you could say he's got the Sean Strickland rematch out there. You could say he's got the Alex Pereira fight at 205, and that might be really it unless he's trying to, run the division again, but I don't think so. And when it comes to this Dracus fight, we saw how high this was, how heavy, anticipated this was the first time that this was, teased. They let they let Izzy come into the, octagon and talk crap to Dracus, and the whole Africa, who's from there, who's not from there. This goes pretty deep, and this has some bad blood. So it's going to be exciting to see how Izzy performs here, because if he doesn't perform well against Dracus here, this is the most motivation he's going to get when it comes to these fights left over. So if this doesn't go well for him and he kind of puts in a lackluster performance and this man Dracus gets the paws on him and we know he hits hard, like, if he goes out there and barely gets by or loses, I mean, this could be one of the most, this could be a downfall here. This is the other thing we got to be honest about when it comes to our favorite guys that we've mentioned. This sport is the most unforgiving that you could ever see. I mean, we can name the legends after legends after legends. The Diego Sanchez, the BJ Penns out there. You got the Frankie Edgars. There, you even got guys like Darren Till who are fan favorites and things. And even the big guys that I named, like the Anderson Silvas, the Chuck Liddells, all these guys, like, once you get to a certain point and, you got so much out there, you might be going down a little bit. You're starting to fight these up-and-comers who have way more to fight for than you. You might see these guys start falling off and maybe retiring. So I wouldn't be shocked here. As much as I want him to beat Dracus and as much as I think he can't beat Dracus this weekend, even if he does, he only has a couple more fights left. And it's, we really have to sit there and appreciate the guy. But we also have to be honest here, man. If it doesn't go well against Dracus, then this could be closer to the end. We could see him maybe, drop another one to Dracus, maybe, drop another one to Strickland. And if he does that, I don't even think he fights Alex. But if he fights Alex Pereira in between, then that could be a downer. And wouldn't be shocked here if we're sitting here in a year from now or, year and a half, and we're sitting here, man, the last 3 fights for Izzy were really bad, man. And we're sitting there, but hey, the things that this man has accomplished before, it's amazing and everything. But It's just getting a little sad. And the other thing I got to say, man, for the people that aren't even that hyped right now for this fight, it is kind of shocking a little bit. But this isn't on Dracus or Izzy here, man. This is where this comes to the matchmakers here. And I'm going to say the same thing when I talk about, the good old Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg fight. This man, when I get it, matchmaking is probably very hard. It's probably way harder than it looks, especially when you got, some foreign guys trying to fight some guys from the US and stuff. They don't even speak the same language. They don't really have bad blood, or you have the respectful fighters out there like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and all these guys that would rather just, let their fighting do the talking. Yeah, these guys are going to be hard to find fights for them because they don't have bad blood out there. But there's sometimes, man, in the UFC, and especially for us fans, when a certain just bad blood, just a certain grudge just grows right in front of you. And we saw it with Kai Kara France and Manel Cape, and we saw it with Dracus and Izzy, and we somehow got Izzy versus Strawn. We somehow got Manel Cape versus Muhammad Makayev, and now we got Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. We don't let these guys fight, and this is on the matchmaking, man. You went letting Izzy go out and lose to Sean Strickland, and that's why people aren't that excited for this fight now, man. You guys have let it happen. You guys have let these guys fight in between each other, and now that they're finally fighting, it's just like, now we're not really intrigued by that. A lot of Sean Strickland fans, as big as he got off the Izzy fight, a lot of his fans think that he beat Dricus du Plessis. So a lot of people think he should be in this and not Izzy. And like I said, Izzy's already half out, half in. Like, I don't know, man. It's just it's scary, and especially like I said, when it comes to the Dracus point of view, so many people have been counting this man out, and this is another fight people are counting him out, and he seems to spoil the party. And after what he did to Robert Whitaker, I'm not shocked at this man doing anything. So if he goes out there and takes out somebody like Izzy, I can't be shocked at this point. So as much as I want this man Izzy to win, and I want to see him have a great walk-off, I want to see him get that win back against Strickland, I want to see him beat Dracus, I want to see him maybe even beat Alex Behe or have a good fight, and that's it. Like, as much as I want to see it have a happy ending, we all know when it comes to MMA, man, no matter who you are, legends, non-legend, whatever it is, the ending is not sweet. So, it's always your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let's go, baby. Let's go.